Hey, what's up, series finders? Welcome back. Today, we're diving into 10 lesser-known but totally binge-worthy dystopian series that deserve way more attention. These are the shows you probably missed, but trust me, once you start, you'll be hooked. So grab a snack, hit that subscribe button, and let's dive straight into this dark and twisted rabbit hole. First up, let's travel to a future that feels terrifyingly close, with The Feed. Imagine if your social media feed was beamed directly into your brain. That's the reality here. We follow the family who invented this world-changing tech, and let me tell you, when things start to go wrong, they go horribly wrong. People's minds are hacked, they lose control, and it is just as creepy as it sounds. David Thewlis, who you might know as Remus Lupin from Harry Potter, is fantastic as the conflicted creator of it all. It's got this Black Mirror vibe, but with a serialized story that just pulls you in deeper with every episode. If you love a good techno-thriller that makes you want to throw your phone in the ocean, this is the one for you. It's a wild, unsettling ride that will have you questioning our relationship with technology. Next, if you're in the mood for a dystopian thriller with a sharp social commentary, you have to check out the French miniseries Tropelium. The premise alone is chilling. In the near future, only 20% of the population is employed. The actives live in a fortified city, while the jobless are left to fend for themselves in a desolate zone. The government creates a program forcing a few actives to hire zoners, and that's where our story kicks off. It's a gritty, intense look at class struggle, what it means to have a purpose, and how far people will go to survive. The world building is incredible, and it feels so plausible, it's scary. It's a 6-episode series, so it's a quick but incredibly impactful watch. It's smart, it's dark, and it will stick with you long after you finished it. Alright, let's switch gears to a political thriller that is tense with a capital T. I'm talking about Pine Gap. The show is set in the real-life joint US-Australian defense facility in the middle of the Australian desert. When a plane is shot down, the analysts inside Pine Gap have to figure out what happened. And let's just say the alliance between the American and Australian teams starts to crack under the pressure. It's less about action and more about the psychological chess game of international espionage. The paranoia is real, you're constantly trying to figure out who to trust, and the show does an amazing job of exploring the complexities of loyalty. If you're a fan of cerebral, slow-burn thrillers like Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, you will eat this up. It's a smart, grown-up spy story that feels incredibly relevant. Okay, now for a show that I am still not over, and that is the one and only Wayward Pines. The first season in particular is a masterpiece of mystery. A Secret Service agent, played by Matt Dillon, wakes up after a car crash in this idyllic, picture-perfect town. But he quickly realizes he can't leave. There are cameras everywhere, the sheriff is terrifyingly intense, and breaking the rules has deadly consequences. The first half of season 1 is this incredible puzzle box where you are just as confused and desperate for answers as the main character. And when the big reveal happens, oh my god. I won't spoil it, but it is a genre-bending twist that completely redefines the show. M. Night Shyamalan was an executive producer, and it has his signature suspense all over it. Seriously, if you want a show that will keep you guessing, you have to watch this. Speaking of shows that left us too soon, let's pour one out for Colony. Set in a Los Angeles that has been occupied by a mysterious off-world force, this show is a masterclass in tension and moral ambiguity. It stars Josh Holloway, who you probably know as Sawyer from Lost, as a former FBI agent who's forced to collaborate with the occupation to find his missing son. Meanwhile, his wife, played by Sarah Wayne Callis from The Walking Dead, is secretly working for the Resistance. Talk about a complicated marriage. The show is less about the aliens and more about the human drama of survival, collaboration versus resistance, and what you would do to protect your family. It's a gripping, character-driven sci-fi show that was canceled on a massive cliffhanger, which still hurts, but the 3 seasons we got are absolutely worth your time. Now for something a little different, let's talk about the Russian sci-fi series Better Than Us. This show was a massive surprise for me. In 2019 Moscow, androids are a common part of everyday life. The story centers around Arisa, a unique advanced android who's designed to be a wife and mother. She escapes her creators and forms a bond with a young girl from a dysfunctional family. It's this beautiful, thought-provoking exploration of what it means to be human seen through the eyes of an AI. It tackles big themes like AI rights, automation anxiety, and the nature of family, but it does it with so much heart. The production value is top-notch, and it offers a more optimistic view of a future with AI than we usually see. If you liked humans or just love a good character-driven sci-fi story, please give this a watch. Alright, my fellow 80s kids and Stranger Things fans, you need to stop what you're doing and watch Paper Girls. Based on the incredible comic book, this show follows 4 12-year-old paper girls in 1988 who get caught in the middle of a time war. They're zapped into the future and meet their adult selves, and it is just as awkward and emotional as you can imagine. The 4 young actresses who lead the show are phenomenal. Their chemistry is what makes the show so special. It's a story about friendship, growing up, and the gap between who we thought we'd be and who we actually become. It's got adventure, it's got humor, and it has so much heart. It was criminally underrated and canceled way too soon, but the one season we have is a perfect self-contained story that is just chef's kiss. Let's throw it back to a classic from the legendary James Cameron, Dark Angel. This show was ahead of its time. It's set in a post-apocalyptic Seattle after an electromagnetic pulse has crippled the US. Jessica Alba, in the role that made her a star, plays Max, a genetically engineered super soldier who escaped a secret government facility as a kid. By day, she's a bike messenger. By night, she's a cat burglar, trying to find her lost brothers and sisters from the same project. It's a gritty, cyberpunk-influenced action series with a strong, compelling female lead. The world building is fantastic, and it has this great dynamic between Max and a cyber journalist who helps her fight corruption. If you want some early 2000s sci-fi action with a lot of attitude, you have to check out Dark Angel. Now for a show that is pure poetry. Tales from the Loop is more or less a TV show than an experience. Based on the stunning artwork of Simon Stallinghaug, it tells the interconnected stories of the people who live in a town built above the Loop, which was a machine that was built to unlock the mysteries of the universe. This isn't a show about explaining the science fiction, it's about the human emotions that arise from it. Each episode is a quiet, meditative, and often heartbreaking look at love, loss, loneliness, and connection. The visuals are breathtaking, like paintings come to life, and the score by Philip Glass is just beautiful. It's a slow, contemplative show that requires their patience, but it is so rewarding. If you want a sci-fi show that will make you feel something, this is it. It is truly a work of art. Last but not least, let's talk about a show with one of the most passionate fan bases I have ever seen, and that is Jericho. This show starts with a mushroom cloud on the horizon. The small town of Jericho, Kansas finds itself completely cut off from the rest of the world after a series of nuclear attacks on major US cities. What follows is a gripping story of survival as the townspeople have to figure out how to work together, who to trust, and how to rebuild society from scratch. It's a post-apocalyptic show that focuses on the community and the human drama rather than just zombies or monsters. The fans mainly saved the show from cancellation after the first season by sending thousands of pounds of peanuts to the network. That's how dedicated they were. It's a fantastic what-if scenario that will have you hooked from the very first episode. So that's our deep dive into some of the most underrated dystopian series out, from mind-controlling tech to collapsing societies. Each one brings its own flavor of chaos, and I love every minute of it. If you've seen any of these or have your own hidden gems, drop them in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with your favorite binge buddy. Until next time, stay curious, stay weird, and keep finding your next obsession with Series Finder. Bye guys!